You cannot heal your kidneys if you still eat bread and pasta. Your great-grandmother survived on bread and pasta her whole life, living to 95. So why are modern nutritionists claiming these comfort foods are kidney killers? When we brought this up in one of our earlier videos, a lot of people asked the same question. Actually, recent studies reveal that some ingredients in these foods can actually be harmful to your kidneys over time. Some of them can even be toxic if you have kidney disease. Luckily, not every type of bread and pasta is harmful to your kidneys. However, these days, so many types of these wheat products are lining the shelves of bakeries and grocery stores, making it challenging to find the right options for those managing kidney health. We're here to help you select the best options, from the store to your home cooking, and what foods to pair them with. But first, let's uncover the hidden risks behind bread and pasta that can affect your kidneys. Before we dive in, please note, all the information in this video is created by real people, thoroughly fact-checked, unbiased, and reviewed by qualified professionals. 4 reasons why bread and pasta can harm your kidneys. 1. Heavy sodium load. Sodium is a mineral of concern among people with chronic kidney disease, or CKD for short. Those with certain medical conditions, such as CKD, should aim for no more than 1,500 milligrams per day. Eating too much sodium from table salt is strongly linked with high blood pressure, swelling, heart disease, and stroke in both healthy people and those with CKD. Unfortunately, nearly all breads contain salt, with just a few exceptions. In fact, bread is a hidden source of salt and is ranked among the salty 6, the 6 processed foods containing the highest amounts of sodium chloride, or table salt. For example, bagels from Dunkin' Donuts and Panera Bread sides go beyond 500 milligrams sodium per serving. On average, breads contain about 450 milligrams of sodium per 100 grams serving. Let's say an average slice weighs about 30 grams. That means you'll get 270 milligrams of sodium from a sandwich with 2 slices from the bread alone. Now let's talk about pasta. Unlike bread, pasta usually doesn't have salt added during processing. Most of the sodium comes from cooking, since we tend to add salt to the water. On top of that, the use of pasta sides, such as ketchup and tomato sauce, further add quite a bit of extra sodium. For example, ready-made tomato sauce contains about 700 milligrams of sodium per 100 grams. A much healthier option is to prepare tomato sauce at home using fresh or plain canned tomatoes, which typically have just 20 milligrams of sodium per 100 grams. To find low-sodium bread and pasta, stay tuned. We'll share some great options later in this video. 2. High phosphorus content. Some breads and pastas can have a lot of phosphorus, giving you 100 to 200 milligrams per 100 grams. That's about the amount in 2 to 5 slices of bread or 1 cup of cooked pasta. Phytates is a type of organic phosphorus found in plant-based foods like bread and pasta. These compounds bind to essential minerals like calcium, magnesium, and iron, making it harder for our bodies to absorb them. Over time, this can lead to mineral deficiencies, which is harmful for both healthy people and those with CKD. Along with the natural phosphorus found in phytates, phosphate additives are commonly added into processed bread and pasta to improve their color, texture, and shelf life. Watch for added phosphorus by scanning for the word PHOSP on the ingredient list, such as sodium phosphate, potassium phosphate, and calcium phosphate. A study in the Journal of Renal Nutrition found that around 57% of bread and baked goods contain phosphorus additives, adding 67 milligrams more phosphorus per 100 grams than additive-free ones. Note that added phosphorus in store-bought bread and pasta is absorbed by the body twice as easily as natural phosphorus. This is concerning, as the daily recommendation for phosphorus is 700 milligrams, and for people with CKD, it's often better to keep it lower. Simply put, in CKD, the kidneys can't clear extra phosphorus from the blood effectively. Too much phosphorus in the blood can gradually increase the risk of bone loss, heart attacks, and death. Also, high phosphorus levels can directly damage kidney cells, which can lead to kidney failure. These problems usually arise in the later stages of kidney disease, but it's always smart to start managing your phosphorus intake early on to take the pressure off your kidneys and avoid complications. That's why it's often recommended to control phosphorus intake even in the early stages of CKD. Are you enjoying our video so far? If so, please give us some hints by dropping a like, and we'll make more content like this. 3. Issues with potassium. Just like phosphorus, potassium intake is also restricted for people with CKD. In these patients, the kidneys can't filter potassium properly. Then, this mineral can build up in the blood to dangerous levels. This condition is known as hyperkalemia, which can cause fatigue, nausea, trouble breathing, heart palpitations, and chest pain. Severe hyperkalemia can increase the risk of heart disease and even sudden death. But do all people with CKD need to cut out potassium from their diets? That's not the case at all. Your body still needs this essential electrolyte to function properly. Interestingly, having a high potassium intake in the early stages of CKD can actually help slow kidney damage and even support heart health. But as kidney function declines, the risk of hyperkalemia increases. If CKD progresses to stages 3 to 5, it's really important to keep a close eye on potassium levels to prevent hyperkalemia. That's why experts recommend adjusting potassium intake based on individual needs and conditions. Healthy adults need 4.7 grams of potassium daily, while patients with CKD are generally advised to limit their intake to 3 grams per day or less. Bread and pasta are generally seen as low potassium foods, but not all types are equally low. A 100-gram serving, around 2 to 5 slices of bread, can contain 100 to 250 milligrams of potassium, while 100 grams of cooked pasta, which is about 1 cup, provides about 50 to 100 milligrams. This is because potassium additives are widely used in processed bread and pasta to improve texture, preserve freshness, and boost flavor. Some common ones include potassium bromate, potassium sorbate, and potassium chloride. These days, it's worrying that many processed bread and pasta, especially those with reduced sodium content, have extra potassium for flavor and preservation. This type of potassium is completely absorbed by the body, while we only absorb about 50 to 60% of the potassium from whole foods like fruits and vegetables. 4. Oxalate-related concerns. Oxalate, which is found in some types of bread and pasta, is a concern for both those with and without kidney disease. Oxalate is a natural anti-nutrient present in many leafy greens, fruits, nuts, and whole grains. Your body also makes oxalate as a waste product. This anti-nutrient can bind to vital nutrients like calcium and magnesium in your gut, making it harder for your body to absorb them. Our kidneys do an important job of clearing oxalate from the body. Healthy people can tolerate small amounts of oxalate, but those with kidney disease may need to limit their intake. Too high a level of oxalate can worsen any current kidney issues. When the kidneys aren't working as they should, oxalates can build up in the urine, forming stones in other parts of the body. This isn't just a concern for those with CKD. Even healthy kidneys can be affected over time. To prevent kidney stones, experts suggest limiting oxalate intake to under 100 milligrams per day. If you already have kidney stones, it's best to stay below 50 milligrams per day for better management. A study in New Zealand tested different brand products found in the local market. They found that wheat bran flakes topped the list for oxalate content, with 393 milligrams per 100 grams. Rice bran came in second, with 140 milligrams, while oat bran had the least, with only 37 milligrams per 100 grams. These amounts are much higher than the recommended 50 to 100 milligrams. For those interested in the evidence, the studies supporting our claims are provided in the link in our description box. Now that you've got all the facts about the hidden risks of bread and pasta, does that mean you have to give them up completely? It's definitely no. Note that managing CKD through diet means eating less protein, phosphorus, and potassium while still maintaining your energy. Some types of bread and pasta fit perfectly into this plan. So, the key is making smarter choices so you can still enjoy these favorites while keeping your kidneys healthy. And you can totally achieve that by following the ways we'll share right now. What can you do? Whole grain versus refined bread and pasta. While whole grain bread and pasta are often praised for their higher mineral and fiber content, those with kidney disease are better off choosing white flour options. These white bread and pasta go through a milling process that removes the outer bran and germ, leading to a notable decrease in oxalate, potassium, and phosphorus content. This makes them easier on your kidneys. For example, 100 grams of white bread has around 113 milligrams of phosphorus, but the same amount of whole wheat bread has nearly double that at 212 milligrams. The same goes for pasta. Cooked white pasta has about 58 milligrams, while whole grain pasta contains around 126 milligrams of phosphorus per 100 grams. Regarding potassium, a 100 gram serving of whole wheat bread packs about 250 milligrams, while the same amount of white bread has only 117 milligrams. Likewise, 100 grams of cooked whole grain pasta has around 95 milligrams of potassium compared to just 44 milligrams in white flour pasta. However, recently, experts argue that whole grains have their unique upsides. They explain that while whole grains do contain phosphorus and potassium, they're in a form that's harder for the body to absorb than the inorganic versions found in additives. Plus, whole grains help with satiety, digestion, and regular bowel movements, which refined grains simply can't match. Given this evidence, whole grain bread and pasta could still be an option for people with kidney disease, as long as it's in moderation. For example, swapping 2 slices of white bread for 1 slice of whole grain bread can reduce your phosphorus and potassium intake without cutting out whole grains completely. Just make sure to check with your doctor before making any changes to your diet. Shopping tips. Taking a moment to pick the right types of bread and pasta at the grocery store can truly make a difference. Pick freshly prepared bread and pasta from local bakeries. They often have fewer preservatives and additives compared to ready-to-eat or ready-to-cook processed options. Or else look for brands with fewer additives like matzah and manna sprouted breads. Just ensure the bakery provides ingredient transparency. Yes, you need to see a clear ingredient list and review them for the sodium, potassium, and phosphorus content. If you see a nutrition facts label with any nutrients showing a daily value of 20% or more, that means the food is high in those elements. Avoid products with incomplete labels. This is especially important for salt substitutes or low-sodium and sodium-free bread. For example, Hostess brands offer sodium-reduced bread options containing 33% less sodium, but the exact amount of sodium per serving can still be high for people with kidney disease. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration classifies low-sodium foods as those with less than 140 milligrams, very low sodium have under 35 milligrams, and sodium-free foods contain less than 5 milligrams per serving. If you're after low-sodium bread, Tuscan and Ezekiel breads are flavorful whole grain choices. Just a heads up, Ezekiel bread has been reported to have around 80 milligrams of phosphorus and 75 milligrams of potassium per slice. If you're watching your potassium intake, here's something important. Those seemingly harmless salt-free options might be a hidden source of potassium. A 2018 study in Canada found that 44% of low-sodium products had more potassium than their regular versions. In fact, potassium levels in these foods ranged from 210 to 1,500 milligrams per 100 grams, meaning a single serving could add up to 50% of the daily potassium limit for people with CKD. Sodium-free, low-potassium bread and pasta are typically harder to find, often sold at health or organic food stores. They are made from whole wheat or sprouted wheat flour, such as manna sprouted breads and matzah. Manna breads come in 9 different varieties, all with less than 10 milligrams of sodium per 2 slices. Matzah is also free from potassium and phosphorus, making it a practical option for those managing these nutrients. Cooking tips. Your best bet is always opt for the least processed foods. By baking your own bread and pasta, you get to choose healthier ingredients and skip the additives. This way, you know exactly what's going into your food. While pasta itself is usually salt-free, many instant and pre-packaged options are loaded with sodium. Watch out for instant noodles, flavored pasta mixes, and canned pasta dishes. When cooked without salt, pasta had less than 5 milligrams of sodium per serving. But when cooked in salted water, the sodium levels ranged from 247 to 490 milligrams. Rinsing after cooking reduced the sodium by 34%, while using double the salt in the water added 243 milligrams of more sodium. So, if you're trying to lower your sodium intake, cook pasta with less salt and rinse it afterward. Make your pasta healthier by creating your own sauce. Replace table salt with herbs, spices, and sodium-free seasonings to keep your sodium intake in check. Try skipping baking soda and baking powder in your recipes since they contain sodium. Instead, you can use natural leavening agents like yeast or sourdough, which are great alternatives. Consider using germinated or fermented whole grain flour. These methods are great for reducing phytates and oxalates, making them especially helpful for those with kidney conditions. Plus, bread and pasta made from these flours taste even better and offer more nutritional benefits. Combination tips. To keep your meals kidney-friendly, combine bread and pasta with lean proteins from legumes, eggs, or fish, and fresh veggies such as bell peppers and cucumbers. For a sweet twist, top bread with homemade fruit jams like apple, grape, or berries instead of store-bought spreads. Flavor pasta with fresh herbs like basil, oregano, and rosemary. Plus, try different homemade sauce recipes to avoid the high sodium and phosphorus found in pre-packaged ones. These days, you might find bread and pasta enriched with fruit and vegetable powders, like banana bread and spinach noodles. These are trendy for their taste and nutritional benefits. But if you're managing CKD, be careful. Breads, biscuits, cupcakes, and pasta enriched with nuts, seeds, leafy greens, or legume powder can be very high in potassium, phosphorus, especially phytates, and oxalates, so enjoy them sparingly. How much bread and pasta should I have daily? Here's a quick guide. Bread and pasta fall under the grains and cereals group, which generally permits 6 to 11 servings daily. While there's no specific guideline just for bread and pasta, your dietitian can help plan your servings. Remember, one serving is a single slice of bread or half a cup of cooked pasta. But for people with CKD, especially in the advanced stages, dietary adjustments for these staples should be made based on your specific needs and clinical symptoms. Be sure to consult your doctor for tailored advice. One key condition to keep in mind is diabetic kidney disease, or DKD for short. This happens when high blood sugar from diabetes damages the blood vessels in your kidneys, making it harder for them to filter out waste and extra fluids. When managing this condition, choosing the right bread and pasta becomes crucial. Many conventional options are high in refined carbs, which can spike blood sugar and stress your kidneys. Look for healthier options made from low glycemic grains like oats, rye, barley, buckwheat, and quinoa. They offer balanced nutrients and steady energy without overwhelming your kidneys. Summary. Some types of bread can be great parts of a daily diet for those with kidney disease, offering a steady energy source while keeping protein, phosphorus, and potassium levels low. However, many processed versions of the recent era are packed with additives and excess salt, which can be tough on kidneys. For those with CKD, eating too many of these processed foods can lead to serious issues like bone loss, heart disease, and a higher risk of kidney failure. This really shows how important it is to make informed dietary choices. Homemade or organic options are better, as they usually have fewer harmful additives. While whole grain versions used to be a no-go due to their mineral content, new research shows they can be enjoyed in moderation. To minimize risks, cook at home with fresh ingredients, look for low-sodium products, but be careful with potassium content, rinse pasta, and don't salt the water it's cooked in to cut down on sodium. Instead of salt, sprinkle in some herbs for flavor. Limit bread or pasta enriched with nuts, seeds, leafy greens, or legumes. Plus, fermenting or germinating whole grains can help lower their phytate and oxalate levels. Always check with your kidney specialist for personalized advice and enjoy these delicious staples while keeping your kidney health in check. Now, we want to send a big thank you to all our current subscribers and viewers. Your support inspires us to continue sharing valuable content. Hit the bell icon and turn on all notifications so you never miss a life-saving video. The sooner you spot kidney issues, the more you can do to keep things under control. If you're unsure about your kidney health and haven't been in a good shape recently, check out the video on the screen. Here, we cover all the possible symptoms, helping you spot kidney failure and take action effectively if needed. See you there. Stay informed, stay healthy.